Here is the marketing plan for Wings Advocacy Fresno, made by Doc Ellis, Jacqueline Franco, Lorenzo Felix, and Monica Garcia Vital.
Overview of current marketing mix and target market. The product of a company is what is being sold and offered to the customers. That's why nonprofit organizations like to be referred to as service providers or humanitarian organizations. Wings is a nonprofit organization that gathers volunteers and donations to help homeless families, veterans, individuals, and women and children escaping domestic violence. A way of identifying a target market for a nonprofit organization is by first identifying your main goals. Who are you trying to help? However, this does not mean that your audience is limited and that this will be the main focus, but they are the ones who most of the marketing and fundraising efforts will be directed to. The target market for Wings is mainly for people suffering from domestic violence or homeless people. A nonprofit organization often seeks for a warehouse as their ideal place where they can store their products. Wings found their ideal place at a warehouse located in Fresno, California, in Salem Avenue, Fresno, California. Victims and volunteers can go to their location to be helped, or if possible, they can also find their website at wingsfresno.org. In addition, people might think that since this type of organizations have the name of nonprofit, they don't have to worry about a price strategy. This organization's work is a reciprocal of giving and receiving. Wings receives daily donations of furniture, which are later on provided to homeless families, veterans, individuals, and women and children escaping domestic violence. Promotion can be done by advertising, public relations, and promotional strategy. The whole point of promoting is for your product to be revealed to customers and to tell them why they need it and why they should pay a certain price for it. Wings' current promotion platforms are social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and their own personal website, wingsfresno.org. That is where they keep themselves active and keep their viewers informed of any upcoming events or donations.
Wings Advocacy Fresno is not a very large organization if you were to judge them by how many employees they have, but they still have a large following throughout the Central Valley. In 2019, the two top donors for Wings Advocacy Fresno were Fresno First Steps Home, who donated $15,000, and the Fansler Foundation, who donated $11,800. In 2020, the Fansler Foundation contributed the second largest donation for the second consecutive year, with a total of $11,800. But the largest donation of 2020 came from the Central Valley Community Foundation, who donated a total of $35,000. And even though the number of donations shrank from 2019 to 2020, thanks to the Central Valley Community Foundation, which helps a large number of nonprofits throughout Fresno, Wings Advocacy Fresno was able to increase the amount of donations received even during a pandemic. The first chart to the left shows the total revenue for Wings Advocacy Fresno from 2016, when they first registered as a nonprofit, through 2019, the year with the most recent 990 Easy tax form available online. The chart to the right shows the total net assets at the end of each fiscal year during the same time period. As you can see, the total revenue has stayed within a range of $35,000 throughout the 4 years, while net assets at the end of each year rose after 2016 before staying relatively the same in 2017. The total net assets dropped from 2018 to 2019, but this is not due to the company losing value. It's due to an expense that Wings Advocacy Fresno had not had before. This expense was for the salary of their first employee, the programs manager, which will ultimately gain them more revenue in the future due to what she adds in value to the organization. The graph on the left shows Wings Advocacy Fresno's total expenses at the end of each year from 2016 through 2019. The graph to the right also shows the total expenses throughout the years, but another thing it shows is how much the cost of distributing beds and furnishing contributes to total expenses. In 2016, the cost of distributing beds and furnishings was 81% of total expenses. In 2017, it was the highest percentage of total expenses for any of these years at 89%. By 2018, it dropped to 79% of total expenses before falling to its lowest point in 2019, 74% of total expenses. As you can see from these two graphs, the total expenses for each year is mostly determined by the cost of distributing beds and furnishings. And the fact that this cost is rising means that Wings Advocacy Fresno is accomplishing their goal as an organization, which is to help as many people in need as possible by donating them beds, furniture, and other necessities.
The SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is a simple but useful framework for analyzing an organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It helps the organization to build on what they need to do well, to address what they're lacking, and to minimize risk, and to take the greatest possible advantage of chances for success. Wings Advocacy uses newly furnished pillows and mattresses, which is very good. They have good amounts of sponsorships and big name ones such as Lowe's and Wells Fargo. Another strength is they help people get their own identification cards and apply for their birth certificates, which are two very important in trying to have a normal life because you can't do a lot without an ID or a birth certificate. And they also provide haircuts and rides to appointments or job interviews and other very important things. Weaknesses is they have very low volunteering members for high hours. So they improve that to either get more volunteer members or decrease the high hours to low hours. Another weakness is they don't have many advertisements out in their community so people can know what they're doing for the community or what their mission is. And I think that's the reason why they don't have that many volunteers. Opportunities. They have a good opportunities with good sponsors that they have. The sponsors that they have, they can expand to even further heights than what they are. Like I said, their big sponsors are Lowe's and Wells Fargo. So I feel like if they can get someone bigger than that, then I feel like financial wise they can improve and probably grow more from there. And another big opportunity is with more homeless because the past year the homeless rate has gone up. It would be a good way to advertise and get well known in the community and across the country. Threats that could possibly make things bad is if they don't have the sufficient funds, they won't be able to help with every homeless person case. So that comes back to the good sponsorships that they need to have, and if they could get more, then that would really help out, especially with donations and fundraisers. That's also another weakness is if they get more advertisement out to let people know on what they're doing, then their funds can go higher so they can use it more to help homeless people or people that are near homelessness to better track in their life. And another thing is with the sponsorship too, they lose one, then their financial situation can really go down and make a huge difference efficient wise. So all these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are very important on how an organization should be and how it helps them grow into being a better organization for everyone in their community.
Some important objectives for Wings Advocacy of Fresno that were discussed that would help the nonprofit grow and better advertise itself at Fresno were to be improving customer service,
build brand awareness, have more home and furniture donations, since that is what the nonprofit focuses on, as well as find new advertisement ideas, having a young audience and young volunteers, for example, college students that are capable of moving heavy furniture and lifting heavy objects. The reason that it is important is because it's what it's done on a daily basis, moving heavy furniture, bringing in used furniture that are donated. So it's important for us to have a young audience, a young volunteers who are capable of being able to do these things. The objectives listed above are a list of important objectives that Wings Advocacy of Fresno need and are important to have a successful nonprofit. However, the objectives we want to focus on are how to increase the volunteers, home and furniture donations, yet still staying small and local in our location of Fresno. The reason we want to stay small and just stay locally is because we already have a lot of business and work in the area we are and very little volunteers. And many of the volunteers that are returning back are older, that is very difficult for them to move anything heavy or any furniture. And as discussed prior, that's what this nonprofit focuses on, donating, getting donations of furniture and donating to families in need, families who have homes but can't afford this furniture costing. Recruiting objectives that Wings Advocacy of Fresno would like to focus on are offering growth, making it beneficial to both parties, offering opportunities, and position sampling. Offering this to a young audience, benefits of growth and the opportunity to learn and experience real life jobs and experiences gets them to keep coming, as well as getting the word out that there is a nonprofit in the community willing to help them grow their knowledge in the career they're working in. Position sampling is exactly what a lot of young audiences want, especially college students, for the reason that many of them are full-time students and part-time workers in jobs that do not give them the opportunity to grow or learn and experience what their career is in. And Wings Advocacy of Fresno wants to give these volunteers that for their hard work and the time they put into the nonprofit.